Hey, movie lovers! Welcome back to Movie Studio Box, your ultimate destination for the best movie lists and hidden gems. Think you've seen every brutal, ruthless crime lord movie out there? Think again. Today, we're counting down 10 of the most savage and intense drug lord movies ever made, films so dark, so violent, and so gripping that they'll leave you speechless. These aren't your average gangster flicks. These are the ones that push the limits. If you love raw power, brutal betrayals, and larger-than-life kingpins who rule with an iron fist, then you're in the right place. Grab your popcorn, turn off the lights, and sit tight because this list is about to get wild. Make sure you watch all the way to the end. Number 1 is absolutely insane, and you don't want to miss it. Drop a comment and tell me which one is your favorite, or if I missed any brutal drug lord movie that deserves to be on this list. Let's dive in, starting with number 10.
It's gonna happen. Either way, he's going.
At number 10, The Irishman.
Sheeran. Am I saying that right?
Yeah, you said right.
Fire a driver on very specific charges. So, you ever show up late?
No.
Do you have any moving violations?
No.
Do you drink on the job?
No.
You ever hit anybody?
On a job?
Yeah.
I don't think so.
All right, then. We don't have nothing to worry about.
The Irishman follows Frank Sheeran, a truck driver who becomes a mob hitman and close friend of union boss Jimmy Hoffa. As he rises through the Mafia world, Frank is forced to choose between loyalty to Hoffa and loyalty to the crime family. In the end, his choices leave him old, alone, and full of regret.
The man is niemand.
For us.
Nggak kehitong pembantahan yang udah gue lakuin. Kalau lo sudah dilantik menjadi seorang sukses, hukumnya mutlak. Jangan pernah mengampuni. Tapi di saat itulah gue melihat satu kehidupan kecil yang sudah di ujung tanduk. Mungkin aja gue bisa merubah takdir gue.
The Night Comes for Us follows Ito, a ruthless triad enforcer who turns against his crime family after sparing a little girl during a massacre. Hunted by former allies and deadly assassins, he fights his way through a brutal night in Jakarta to keep her alive. The movie builds to a bloody showdown between loyalty, betrayal, and redemption. At number 7, Scarface.
The world, Chico. And everything in it.
Scarface follows Tony Montana, a Cuban immigrant who arrives in Miami with nothing and rises to become the city's most feared drug kingpin. Driven by ambition, greed, and violence, he builds a cocaine empire and seems to have the world at his feet. But his paranoia, addiction, and ruthless choices destroy his relationships and empire, leading to a bloody final showdown in his mansion. At number 6 is Gatao 2, Rise of the King.
把你的地盘放出来做投入，你和你的兄弟们就不用再赚那些辛苦钱了。知道你上面还有一个贵斗。
关你不落去啊！这个外口囡仔，我笑啊！咱做兄弟做到尾啊！求的啊，就是爱一个安稳。
本是同根生，何以自相破？谁人神灵心，谁人雄人手？绝灭天地处，谁人
Gatao 2, Rise of the King follows Ren, a gang leader who finally rises to the top of Taipei's underworld. Just as he begins to enjoy power, his former friend Jian returns, turning brotherhood into rivalry. What follows is a brutal gang war filled with betrayal, loyalty tests, and bloody revenge, as Ren fights to keep his throne and survive the chaos around him.
年啊，你在吗？
At the Drug King.
바로 이 백색 황금의 시대를 연 입지전적 인물이 있었으니 이두사입니다.
이제 바통 날라가고 돈 안 된다 아이가?
그러니까 바통 말고 뭔데?
거기다 뽕.
뽕?
메스앰페타민 일명 히로뽕.
조선서 만들어가 그거를 다시 여기로 갖고 와 팔면은 이게 어찌 되나?
금대이지.
The Drug King follows Lee Do-sam, a small-time smuggler in 1970s Bizen who rises to become one of Korea's most feared drug lords. As his empire expands through wealth, power, and corruption, an ambitious prosecutor begins closing in on him. What starts as a rise from poverty turns into a story of greed, addiction, and a dramatic downfall. At number 3, The Gentleman.
Your boss, Mickey Pearson. You're too smart to be blackmailing us.
At number 2, City of God. City of God follows Rocket, a young boy growing up in the violent slums of Rio de Janeiro, who dreams of becoming a photographer instead of a gangster. As he watches his childhood friend Lil Z rise into one of the most feared drug lords in the favela, the streets descend into brutal gang wars and chaos. It's a powerful story of survival, choices, and how one boy escapes a life of crime by telling the story through his camera. At number 1, Rogue City.
Une ville que nous adorons, mais dont nous connaissons malheureusement tous les dangers.
Rogue City follows Richard Vronsky, a tough Marseille cop caught in a city drowning in gang wars, police corruption, and betrayal. As rival gangs clash and dirty secrets inside the police force begin to surface, Vronsky fights to protect his squad and survive the chaos. But in a world where no one is truly clean, loyalty turns deadly, and the story ends in a dark spiral of revenge and corruption.
On a juste une méthode, adaptée à cette ville. Paul Maranzano, c'est l'ancien chef de la bande du Valinco.
Pourquoi l'avoir relâché?
Qui touche au mien doit songer à protéger les siens. Maintenant t'es prévenu.
That's it for today. Thank you for watching. Make sure to subscribe, like, and comment your best among these 10 movies. See you next time.
Moi,